Man, what a crazy game, Neil. This was the highest scoring game in Beaver Stadium history, 56-44. It was 42-10 at the half, and you thought Nebraska was going to lose 70-13, but wound up being just a wild day.
Yeah, you know, I do give Nebraska some credit as far as, I mean, a lot of teams that would come in here and fall down like that, I don't think would put the kind of effort that they did in the second half, and they, you know, maybe they'll be able to build on things. It doesn't look like, you know, they're probably going to make a coaching change. Penn State was ready to play early. Not great on special teams, but did enough things to really have things their own way and, you know, take a pretty positive feeling going into the season finale.
And we figured Penn State would run on Nebraska. Everybody's run on Nebraska. Yeah. Penn State had 400-plus yards of offense in the first half alone. Saquon Barkley said after the game he will play in Penn State's bowl game. I will admit, I think that's a surprise to me. Now, if they go to the Citrus or the Outback, which is a possibility, I'd be very surprised. I personally don't think Saquon Barkley should play in the Citrus Bowl. He said he's going to play regardless of whatever bowl, and he's already made that decision.
Yeah, I'm sure this is you know, a deep consideration for a family. You know, let's face it, a lot of these guys already have been granted big insurance policies in case they would happen to get hurt. It's the kind of kid he is and the kind of leader he's been. I'm not sure you can really have it both ways, to all of a sudden just make it about you at the end. And I think it's kind of a big deal for him to come out with that, because that may affect what bowl wants them.
Yeah, that's a good point. And really, we never even had these conversations until last year, when Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette dropped the bombs that they were not going to play in their bowl games for Stanford and LSU. Those were different stories. Fournette had been injured throughout the year. McCaffrey was basically the only player Stanford really had on offense, so everybody just keyed on him. But look, you talking about insurance policies all you want. Fine, he gets $1 million or $2 million if he gets hurt in the bowl game. He gets hurt in the bowl game, he could potentially lose $20, $30 million in the NFL. I personally, I don't think it's worth the risk.
Well, hey, you know what? I won't criticize him for doing it.
Sure.
I do respect it, but if he also turned around and said, you know, I've revisited this, I wouldn't criticize that. I think it's a real personal decision.
Yeah.
A lot of us think, oh, geez, these guys are here for dear old state, and that's it. James Franklin said last week, all these guys come thinking they're going to go to the NFL. They all think they're good enough, and that's what the plan is. So when you get this close, it is a dicey thing. I mean, when we saw Hackenberg get hurt in the bowl game, he was pretty spry. He bounced when he hurt his shoulder. He came out from halftime at the Tax Slayer Bowl, and he didn't look a whole lot the worse for wear at that point. So I think they'll be careful with Barkley. You didn't see him on kickoffs today. Maybe that's part of the plan also.
Good point, yeah.
You know, who knows? I respect the decision.
All right, and he did not say whether or not he made a decision about turning pro. Actually said he hadn't made a decision yet. Most people expect him to turn pro, and that's certainly with his talent would be expected. So this was probably his last home game.
One more thing about him, though. Boy, did he look super quick today. I mean, even more than, granted, he had some running room. But man, he hit the holes. You know, he had struggled for so many games. It was nice to see him in the open field, and he really looked fast. Really
talented guy, and everybody wishes the best for him. This Penn State team, they should beat Maryland, go 10-2, and they're going to be looking at a really good bowl game now, depending on how the things play out. Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl, Citrus Bowl, we'll see. But it should be a bowl game, a good fun trip. And against probably a quality team wherever they land.
And I think it's going to be really an important way to finish up, because you know, this team right now, they've had a good year, but maybe it's not been a great year. Maybe this team right now is going to be remembered for a couple of the games that got away. So this is a real opportunity to play a big name team in a high profile situation and end up 11-2, which that would be a great year.
I do want to mention the quote James Franklin had, which I think is spot on. He said, if IBM comes and offers a junior computer engineering major a $12 million contract, that guy is gone. That's basically a way to me of James Franklin saying Saquon Barkley is gone, and with his full blessing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player's coach. I think he understands. I think they have a chemistry and a rapport on this team. And I think you see the relationships between head coach to assistants and assistants to players. And I think that's one of the reasons that they were up 42-10 on Nebraska today.
Yeah, wild day. All right, for Neil, I'm Cory. Thanks to Phillips Moore on our video. We'll talk to you next week.